Welcome back to the LEC studio for G2 Esports taking on Schalke 04. To set the scene really quickly, last year G2 won MSI, 2 LEC titles, they made the World Final. This year they defended the LEC title, they held on to the MSI title. But there's a chance that they won't make playoffs and therefore they won't make Worlds. The performance that they've had over the past few weeks is a worrying trend, and I feel like we could be witnessing potentially the fall of EU Super Team.
Okay,
I want to spend a little bit of time.
Conclusion of the fall of the
Okay,
EU
fair enough,
team,
fair
okay?
enough. But
Let's
look,
say
what's
that the
going
team
wrong?
is-
What's
the team
going
is
wrong?
Struggling, and I think that a lot of different people have talked about the struggles. We just heard from Duffman highlighting a lot of the issues where the team is struggling to fit into the meta, and I think that draft has been a big point of contention when you look at how G2 play, but also I think that we've seen a lot of uncharacteristic individual misplays from a wide variety of players from the team. Like we've seen players like Perkz getting caught out of position, we've seen Jankos going for crazy plays, and overall I think that across the board, the individual prowess that these G2 players have often defaulted to in situations where they've been behind or not favorable to them are not something that they can rely on right now.
But I still think that it falls into this idea that there's still something wrong with how they're thinking about the game versus how they're executing in the game. And I think I use the word executing as, I don't think that these are mechanical mistakes that are happening from the G2 members. I mean, everyone makes them occasionally, but this is more so decision-making errors. Sure. And they said it themselves in their interview on PGL Grabs. It's like, we just don't know what the win conditions are of the compositions that we're drafting.
Like, look at Jankos right now. That wasn't a hands problem.
That's
he
a brain
quite
problem.
Clearly jump in. It was the fact that he was jumping into 4 by himself. So that was a decision-making problem. And I think this just echoes what Frosk was saying. And a lot of what Duffman was saying, where their practice has not been great this split. We know that circumstances have not been favorable for G2, but also the meta has been challenging for them to adapt to. And we've not only seen that for them, we've seen that for the big three that we talked about in Fnatic, OG, and G2, whereas others around have been able to thrive and succeed as a result.
And it just means that G2 need to figure out what their imprint on this meta is going to be. They need to decide, you know, is it all about the souls and the Baron? Do we need to play a team fight meta and then what that works best for them? But when they did that in the finals, they 3-0'd Fnatic. They came in with the Azir Kog'Maw, they walked into scaling team fights, and they just absolutely annihilated Fnatic. So it's just kind of curious to me that now they seem really lost on this patch.
It's mind-boggling to me because this is a team that we've accredited with adaptation, you know, playing their own style, figuring out their own way, whatever it is. We saw those stats on screen a moment ago from the spring playoffs that you just talked about, from the spring season where there was an element of doubt and G2 silenced the naysayers. I have felt now more than ever before that I am afraid for this team. And I think there's still more than enough time. There's 7 games. We just saw OG losing. We see how close the standings are, right? So I'm not signing their death warrant, but Frosk, we're still, and a lot of teams are still giving this team the benefit of the doubt. At what point does that benefit stop?
And I know, Vedius, I think you said it at top of day earlier on the show that the community is tired of us giving excuses to G2. But the fact of the matter is that when you win back-to-back-to-back-to-back championships, when you look like you're about to fall and Fnatic is going to finally rise back up, and then you 3-0 your opponent. The fact that in clutch moments G2 show up is why everyone considers them this sleeping giant. You don't just have to listen to us, listen to all of the teams.
Yeah.
They say the same thing over and over. G2 is still a good team. So if you don't believe me, listen to all the other teams.
Something that I find very interesting as well is that Carlos actually messaged me Ocelot during the week and he said, hey bro, I've got a story for you to say on broadcast, like 100% safe, secure, go for it. And now we've seen all the team members like tweeting about Hakuna Matata. It's just, it means no worries for the rest of your days, right? Like literally, I almost started singing that one. I actually think that G2, when they were at their best, they had no worries. When they were at the best, they were playing free, loose, fun, like the friendship team. That's what we say about Mad Lions at the moment, right? Let's see if this helps. Let's see if the mindset shift will unleash them. There's only 7 games left. I do want to turn our attention, though, to Schalke. We are getting ready for draft, and now for Schalke, Vedius, you said at the beginning of today that this game was the one you were most excited for. And I think I'm inclined to agree because for me, it's a litmus test. Schalke are sitting at the bottom of the table. And if G2 don't look good in this game, if they really struggle, well, then I'm even more worried. But alternatively, if they smash this game, well, now I'm just more confused.
So I also think that just Schalke's really entertaining to watch, in my opinion. Okay.
Jankos does this one.
Listen, right? So what I think is really cool about Schalke is, number one, with the addition of Gilius back to the roster, right, we have some very clear strengths when they get certain champions, which is great.
Lee Sin.
Right, Lee Sin specifically, which teams have also figured out, right? And Kha'Zix, I think, can be another one, which I don't think we've seen from them yet. But my point is that I think that the annoying thing about Schalke is that they're one of those teams that you know can create upsets. Just because they don't very often doesn't mean that they lack the ability to do it. And I think that we've many times seen teams that sit at the very bottom of the standings that, you know, a lot of people will question, like, why are they even in the LEC? Why are these players competing? But the reality is they are among some of the strongest players that we do have in Europe. And I think that the reality is that because of how coin flippy, especially G2 are in terms of their level of performance are now, and we already saw Vitality take down the OG that went 2-0 last week, like, it's very real that Schalke can upset and create a very exciting game.
Froskurinn, we don't have too much time left, but tell me a little bit about your perspective from Schalke, and then maybe if they were to win this game, what would it take for them to do so?
Hilariously, I feel like the meta kind of shifted into what Schalke were already kind of good at. They've always been like an objective-oriented team, like very big onto team fighting, but the issue is their individual laners and needing the prowess to get through lane phase. A lot of time when Schalke's games ends, it's just because they get bashed in lane. Abbedagge probably being one of the most exposed, depending what his mid lane matchup is, which means you need three things. Gilius on a comfort champion. Odoamne is your best player. You need to make sure that he gets a counter pick and has agency into it. And I also really like the fact when Dreams is on something like a Leona or a Nautilus. This is a roaming, engage-oriented, always going forward support. And I hate it when they put him on something like Yuumi and just attach him to Inax or Neon.
We'll have to find out. Do you believe that they can do it? If you're going to be percentage odds, I know we have kind of implied and said that we're anticipating G2 to win.
That could very well be a
right?
50-50.
That is terrifying to me. G2 versus Schalke right now, a 50-50. So in inspiration from Vedius right now, G2, they are staring into the abyss and they need to bounce back and see if they can do it to save their season.
What is this? The fingers.
Thank you very much, Quickshot. We are here ready for Champion Select in just about a minute or so. And I do want to ask you the same question that was asked to Vedius and Froskurinn. Look, I'm a boomer like Quickshot. I want to ask you the same question that was asked to Vedius and Froskurinn. What are your odds? Like, G2 win-loss this game. Give me the odds.
I mean, I think I'm more interested in the odds of whether or not G2 will actually show up and start to turn things around, because, like, I don't think the percentage game works here, Medic. Okay. I'm gonna be honest, because I don't have a good baseline on G2 right now, because they are a little bit all over the place. And I think the analyst desk was really hitting it home, saying there's hands issues, there's also brain issues, and I want to see them get back to what has worked for them in the past. Like, Caps has played Cassio, Kog'Maw, Azir, Kog'Maw, and then at Twisted Fate. Get back to the Twisted Fate. Get on something that can roam. Start slamming the early game. Don't necessarily, and yes, we saw the Kog'Maw pop off once, but I want to see them go back to what has worked for them for the last year and a half.
I mean, it was one of the big storylines when we came on into the season, right? It was saying, hey, Caps likes to get out of his lane. In the first 3 weeks, he spent half of the early game in his lane and half of it ganking other lanes. And it worked out for G2 from time to time. The question is, can they get back to that? Or is there a new meta that they are still trying to adapt to? Schalke, on the other hand, yeah, they're still struggling. Like, there's not a huge amount you can say positive about this team. The introduction of Gilius has been a little bit of a bright spark for the team, but still they're struggling to find these wins.
I think from what I've seen, like, they got that one win against Fnatic, but Gilius's impact in the early game can't be understated. He did bring a little bit of life back to this team, and if there's anything I'm looking at him on a comfort pick like the Lee Sin that can pop off in the early game and shut down G2, because a great way to beat G2 has been to beat them in the early game, and then things do start to fall apart. So let's see, G2 can spin things around, or Schalke are looking at their second win of the split.
Well, they took down Fnatic before. It would only be just if they took down the other finalist from spring season when they win here against G2. Perhaps they could start their way into I was about to say into a possible playoffs run, but that's very unlikely for them right now. We are into picks and bans. G2 on the blue, Schalke on the red, and the music pumps and Ender starts dancing for us.
If only I was on camera right now, you could see.
I'm sure we can get that clip.
Well, we don't have to ask for that. All right, let's see it. Twisted Fate banned away from Caps. I do love that taken away from him. And I think in this game, actually, a big thread to follow is the roaming of these two mid laners. If Caps is on an applicable champion, of course, but one of the things that worked wonders for Schalke, specifically in that game against Fnatic, was Abbedagge on the Galio. Even before the ultimate came online, him working alongside Gilius, that was a tag team that absolutely showed up on the day, and something that could be a big force here for Schalke to work with.
Currently, we don't have too many of those roaming champions banned away. Only the TF and then 2 supports in the Thresh and the Bard, and then Kalista, Volibear on top of that. Schalke here maybe looking to see if they want to get rid of the Aphelios, the Ezreal, some of these stronger AD carries, or whether they want to target their ban at something like the Syndra, one of Caps' best champions.
So it's going to be a good ban when up against Caps, and that's going to be the first pick, Orianna. So again, sticking with the scaling mid lane options, not of the roaming that maybe I would have liked to see, but perhaps this could be a G2 that's trying to build a more cohesive team fight comp. Sometimes when they've been rocking, the Kog'Maws and whatnot, there have been some questions thrown around about how does this actually, work in the 5 versus 5? Does it all layer up? And with an Orianna first pick, that does set them up to build around that champion, but they're going to have to deal with the Azir and the Ezreal on the other side, which can be really, really rough, and often can, just pump out so much damage. It's really crazy.
But so can Orianna or Aphelios, right? So there's a lot of scaling, a lot of damage on either team. I did just look up. Orianna is Caps' 4th most played champion throughout his career. So he is very experienced on the champion, even though perhaps it doesn't fit the idea of Caps that we have seen recently. The roaming around, the more facilitator. He is very good on that. Karma going to get locked in here for G2. Could be bot. Have seen some flex Karma, as you say. Top lane still a possibility, and Schalke looking towards a Gianna to answer it.
So I know we saw a Karma banned in one of our previous games when the Ezreal was already taken. Ezreal Karma can be a very strong lane, so I think part of this for G2 might be trying to remove that as an option for Dreams. You can see they were already considering some of these range supports by banning away the Bard themselves here, and when you see a Nautilus on the other side, it opens up the question, do you want the lane power and the priority you can gain through a Karma with that Q who can instantly take control over minion waves and get you priority over that bot lane river, but potentially be vulnerable when a jungler comes around, when a Nautilus offers so much CC to lock up that squishy range champion? Or are they going to hold on to that and send that up into the top lane? Because I feel like Karma can pretty much do anything she wants in top lane. You can't really hard counter that champion. She's going to be able to get through almost every laning phase.
She's just so safe with her shield, with her push potential. Malphite getting taken away here by G2. They have felt the force of that before, and they don't want Perkz getting jumped on anymore. And it seems to just be like both teams accepting, we're not going to ban out any more junglers, we're going to get rid of these top laners instead. The Gangplank and the Malphite taken away. We've yet to see, the Lee Sin removed, the Olaf, the Graves, some of these more powerful picks. And there's the Rek'Sai.
Rek'Sai, don't want Jankos on that one. Feel like Rek'Sai wouldn't be the easiest champion to play here against, say, Ezreal and an Azir, but clearly Schalke want to run something. The Lee Sin is still open here for Gilius, even with, maybe having some different ideas of how you play out the team fights compared to an Ezreal and an Azir. G2 have identified that, and they're going to remove that from the table. Now, Gilius has gone, I believe, to the Olaf in the past.
Yep.
I do know Gilius Olaf is a force to be reckoned with, and could be the 4th pick here. If Schalke want to wait and make sure they know exactly where that Karma's going, that's when they'd pick up a jungler here.
Well, Frost did say getting a counter pick for Odoamne was one of the key points for Schalke to succeed, and picking a jungler here makes the most sense. Kha'Zix is going to be the lock.
So the Kha'Zix is really interesting when paired with Ezreal or Azir, because those two champions are all about controlling the zone in front of you, and a Kha'Zix with W Evolve does offer a whole lot there too. Also, when there's a lot of range champions on the other side, these spread out fights can be pretty impactful, but G2 see that, they pivot into a Tahm Kench in the bot lane, so that offers a whole lot of protection. Will be trying to stand next to his teammates and make that Kha'Zix not have a huge amount of impact, which of course means it is going to be Karma up in the top side, so strong pushing lane up there if they do have to give up some control over bot.
I will just say, I've seen some pretty strong Tahm Kench top lanes in the past. They've licked me to death.
It's true. It's true.
Licked me to death a lot of times, but the expectation is, as you say, Tahm Kench down towards the bottom lane. Ornn will be the final pick for Odoamne in the top lane. So not really a counter, but a very strong team fight tool.
Honestly, I really like this draft from Schalke. I think the Kha'Zix is a fun little wrinkle here. Can make G2, you know, they have to think about that one extra layer, need a little buddy to stand next to in the fight. But the Ornn upgrades, being able to dump those over to your Ezreal as well as your Azir gives you a whole lot of options, and this Kha'Zix has so many targets to whap away at in these later fights.
To whap away
To
at.
whap away at, that's what
Not
Kha'Zix does.
slice with his claws. Instead, he will be whapping as much as he can. I wonder if Tahm Kench gobbling someone up makes him isolated. If
Kha'Zix or Tahm Kench would be isolated when you gobble someone, but I mean, if Kha'Zix is hitting Tahm Kench, you've won. So
well, we'll have to wait and see if Schalke are able to take the win. G2 struggling, but perhaps this is the moment that they come back into the playoff race. And on to Summoners Rift, we jump for the game, for the third one of the day. And as I can see, just
breaking news!
dun, dun, dun.
What is it?
Head over to @KitKat Gaming for a chance to win some skins.
I was really thinking there was gonna be some big
Did you
news.
not see the massive Kit Kat in the screen?
Well, I knew the kick out was there. I was like,
Okay.
maybe they're
And,
gonna give us...
I'm just gonna say, if we ever announce breaking news on this broadcast with a massive Kit Kat and it's something serious, we have failed as an entertainment product.
Oh, I'm dead. Oh, I can't. Send him Vedius. I need a replacement.
You know what you need?
I need a break.
Yep, you need a Kit Kat. Anyway, back onto Summoners Rift we go. As Gilius is going to start at his blue buff. It looks like Jankos might be starting at his blue as well. So we're going to see the junglers kind of mirror their movements across the map, meaning that Jankos can get down towards this bottom lane around at that level 3.
Yeah, there is also a G2 ward on Schalke's red buff, so Odoamne hanging around, seeing if there's any funny business going on the red, which does not appear to be. So the information will be there for G2, rather, knowing that Gilius is going to be down towards this bottom side. But again, I don't think Kha'Zix is necessarily the champion that wants to go for like an early aggressive gank on his first clear. Typically looks just to get through his entire jungler and maybe walk behind a lane if they're pushing, if they need some help, a little bit more supportive until he gets a challenging smite in there or gets that warrior enchantment. And that's when he's really going to come online and offer so much threat in any sort of smaller skirmish or duel in the river.
It's just so powerful when he gets those upgraded claws or the upgraded void spikes can control areas of the map pretty well. And a question I want to ask pretty early on in this game, Ender, is are you worried about G2? Because we heard on the analyst desk, like Trevor is a little bit worried about G2. He's a little bit concerned about the team right now. And we're not saying they won't make playoffs. We're not saying they won't make it into, you know, semi-finals, perhaps finals. But right now, I myself am a little bit worried.
I mean, we're not saying anything. We're just asking the question. We want to know what you all think, because honestly, G2's started this, but 5 and 6 past the halfway point. Like, that's just crazy to think about, given the context of this team dominating the last few years. But the analysts really set it up. You know, this team does have some very apparent problems, from draft to mechanics to team play to decision making. These are things that G2 simply have regressed on, and are going to need to figure out how to solve. Otherwise, the conversation around them is going to change, and the worry is definitely going to get up there.
And make sure you're spamming in Twitch chat. Yes, if you are worried.
They're
no,
always
if you're not.
spamming in Twitch chat.
Yeah, I want them to spam the specific
yes
things
or no.
that I want to spam. Yep. Jankos here looking for a gank in the bottom lane. Perkz gonna heal himself up a little bit with the Severum. Does have
Don't
the
spam
Gravitum here.
Stop it.
Do not do yet. At the moment, Schalke are looking for that opportunity to push forward, but Jankos has waited here a very long time, Ender.
I mean, so there's level 3 for Neon and Dreams. G2 are probably waiting for their level 3, or if Dreams were to commit, or they just go in now.
Dreams has the hook,
But
and Facebreaker does not pull him back.
that is so strange. Like, G2, like, obviously, their expectation is that Schalke are going to go forward. But Schalke's jungler is on the top side, and G2 know that. So Schalke playing very respectfully, very properly down towards that bot side, and that means so much wasted time for Jankos. Gilius has cleared 2 more camps than Jankos, is down here in the bot side river to contest around the Scuttle Crab,
Jankos can't
is
do
level
this.
4 and has 2 long swords.
Flash forward, there's the hook, and Jankos going to try and flash away, but Abbedagge still on the chase to get the flash out of the set. And Ender, we asked the question, Are you worried about G2? And the answer is yes, 65% of the audience. And after a play like that, I can't blame them.
I mean, I'm a little bit worried about Jankos, you know? Back-to-back MVP here in the LEC, and we saw in the game last week against Mad Lions, he was completely shut down. Great vision control by the Mad Lions, made it so that he could do next to nothing in the jungle. And now in this game, even with information of where Gilius is starting, his entire path is set up around getting that level 3 gank in the bot lane. Wastes a minute and a half of time, loses bot side scuttle. Gilius isn't even sprinting to the top side crab. He's doing a full clear through his own jungle. Then he's going to be able to sort of likely find that crab as well and just blow open to a massive lead. He has an entire level advantage over Jankos currently on the Kha'Zix, which means he can control these early drakes super easily as well.
And it's just these small things that are concerning us with G2, but also bringing some light to Schalke and FLICKR. Gilius having a strong early game so far. 16 CS up, 4 camps. Now Jankos needs the help of Mikyx, needs his assistance if he's going to be able to take this Scuttle Crab. Gilius will spot it. Oh, he didn't have Smite anyway. He didn't have Smite, so he wouldn't have been able to
I do feel like Gilius was a little bit slow to play around that crab. Of course, Abbedagge is trying to get a reset, but he had TP to come back in. And G2, they're calling. Jankos calls Mikyx up. He's like, I need this crab to stay relevant in the game. Otherwise, I'm going to be just way too far behind to do much of anything. So I think that is a solid move. Now Mikyx will spot out the control ward that he can also clear as soon as he sees Dreams pop down to the bottom lane. He knows Kha'Zix is going to be top side. Jankos should be communicating that the Krugs are where Gilius will be based off of the early clear and the early information they had on his path.
It does mean that Perkz has to give up just a little bit of pressure in the lane. Jankos, though, X-Splash is over here. There's no wards. He's going to pop a control ward down himself, and with the wave pushing in towards Schalke, Perkz is in a good spot to allow Jankos to do this scot-free.
This is exactly the right move from Jankos, because this is about a 30-second window before Gilius makes his way to the bot side, where Gilius would be looking for the Drake himself. Yep. So Jankos is like, I'm actually fine, even though I'm down comparatively to Kha'Zix. Kha'Zix is on Krugs and resetting. I can get this very easily. He Hex flashes in, kills the dragon, Hex flashes out, bops over all these walls, and can now reset back into a full clear.
And 25 extra gold. Always a bonus.
Also, the biggest fake news that Riot Games ever told you is that they removed catch-up EXP from the game. Which is basically you get bonus experience when you're under-leveled to the large monsters you're killing. They removed those from all the normal camps. Those still exist on the dragons and the neutral objectives, so Jankos got some sweet EXP there.
Does it exist on Scuttle Crab as well?
Not on Scuttle Crab.
Okay, so Rift Herald, Baron, and Dragon.
Yes. Even though Rift Herald's technically like a Void-corrupted Scuttle Crab, she still gets credit for that one.
Well, she's like... You know, she's grown a little bit. Like the Rift Herald after, obviously we know.
Wait, so if Rift Herald is a void corrupted Scuttle Crab, what is Baron then? Like, what was it? Was just like a worm, a rift worm.
Tahm Kench, void corrupted. Yep.
That is horrifying.
Well, it's got 3 mouths instead of 1, so it can eat more things.
I hate everything you just said.
I see no problem with this.
It's traumatizing. Tahm Kench being able to gobble up 3 allies.
Or enemies.
Or enemies.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's got teeth now.
I remember the good old days when it was just
Don't want that on an ally. Yes.
Anyway, TP in here from Caps in the mid lane. He's about even on CS. He's going the Seraph's build, which is what we tend to see on Oriannas these days. There was a good episode of the Meta Report talking about whether you want GLP or whether you want Ludens or whether you want the Seraphs. I think the Seraphs is probably the best.
In the Meta Report, Quickshot was talking about that. I'm pretty sure I said all that information on a cast. I'm not going to throw any shade there. I just feel like I got plagiarized a bit.
If Quickshot is ever claiming that he was the one to do the primary analysis, we know that's a lie. Okay?
Fair.
Not throwing him under the bus, but he'd be the first to admit that he's not the guy to go to.
I mean, you are, because he's not even here to defend himself. I'll let it slide.
You come across and tell me if I was being wrong. Anyway, Jankos here. Oh, wait.
There's a ward there, buddy.
You're on a control ward.
But he's got his bot lane coming up here. Now, Neon does have TP. No mana, though, so you would need the 8 seconds to recall, then the time to teleport up towards the top side of the map. And I think Gilius level 6 with the Camouflage Evolve. May want this, but 4 people grouped up. Gilius kind of low. This one could be a little hairy.
Okay, I mean, Schalke, this TP is very late.
Like, the game's not over. You just got to Rift Herald, Mikyx. Calm down.
And then G2 will secure the Rift out. There's a couple of good plays from G2, right? After that failed dive in the bottom, failed gank in the bottom lane, they've been able to get the Dragon, they've been able to get the Rift out. We were looking for these minor improvements, these little things, and they seem to be showing up.
So this is a touch of macro superiority from G2, because I don't love Neon's decision to teleport towards the top side of the map here. I think that he was bot side without anyone matching him. He could have traded for some plates of his own. Of course, that would mean Jankos can drop the Herald in top lane, but that's going to happen eventually. Not too much he can do here against the Azir. Once level 6 comes through for Azir, even pre-level 6, we saw this Sett, unless you're flash E-ing very instantly, it's really hard to get much done without team CC to set you up.
Sett's one of those secondary engagements that we talk about, like the Ken and even sometimes like the Rakan. Like Rakan is a good primary engage, but he's so much better when someone else has got a hook or you can follow up on.
Yeah, it's like these champions can do them, but there are limitations, you know?
Ornn is a great example of a primary engager.
Yeah, it's these non-committal engage options that you can go for the fight, but you don't have to fully commit. Sett has to fully commit. He can also get kited out when he is trying to go for that, so it's not even guaranteed that it will connect. For now, he does need to get a reset off because there's a warrior finish for Gilius, meaning any fight here should be very much in Gilius' favor. Level advantage there too, so he's playing for his team at the moment, and G2 are just fighting with numbers here inside the river, taking control. They took the Herald. I still feel like I would have loved to see Schalke commit a little bit more down to the bottom side as Abbedagge slides in for some bonus damage, but
you got a very excited.
Like, is he flash ulting? What's happening? I don't know.
Just wanted a little bit of chunk. I didn't want to go too far in. I will say it's so strange to see a G2 game where we're 10 minutes and there aren't any kills. Like, I still have the G2 of last split in my head very much when I watched them. You know, they had the highest combined kills a minute out of anyone in the league. They've had that for the last 4 splits. They are a bloodthirsty team, and this is a very obvious attempt by them to not be that, right? They're trying to work out how they play in this new meta that they're discovering. And they haven't gone for a comp that looks for all of these early kills. Like,
yeah, I mean, I do think they have slowed down. It wasn't that they were like saying, let's not get any kills. Like, Jankos really tried for it. And I do feel like that was a bit of a mistake from him, but it has since slowed down a whole lot, although nearing the end of this Rift Herald duration, so Jankos in the next minute or so will be looking to flop that one down, and 15 seconds on an Infernal Drake is a great time to set it up, cause someone to come over and pick it, so Jankos probably going to drop that here once the wave falls. He realizes on ward now, and that Drake will be spawning. At the same time, Abbedagge, I think, is trying to get a reset in and to teleport in. Does he have a full item? I don't think so.
Mikyx popped the Ghost here. He's just cycling through his spellbook, but you can see there's a lot of wards from Schalke. They actually controlled the river for a while here. G2 going to try and push across.
Sword shoes for Abbedagge.
Sword shoes, as you say, for Abbedagge. Wait, G2, where are you going? The dragon's down here, G2.
I mean, if you look at like the level of jungler, like I actually feel like this is exactly the moment where Gilius wants to fight. And again, Jankos has to be on a lot of it. Can we see those money? I mean, I know he hasn't been farming as well as Gilius, but he has been on the map for a long, long time. Yeah. Still no finished items, so he's been playing fully for his team. No selfishness at all here. Means that Gilius will be able to control that bottom side and work towards the lethality. He's going towards that route.
Yeah, he's got 1.3k.
He has a full item, but he wants to drop this Herald first, I believe.
And Caps is also sitting on 2k, so I kind of understand more why you didn't fight.
Because, like, you could have done this while Schalke were down on the dragon. So now they won't get the full tower. They'll just get 2 or 3 plates.
Perkz takes quite a bit of damage. Of course, Mikyx there to protect him, just in case. And Perkz now sits with $8 grand in his back pocket. Even on gold, though, with Neon. Hasn't been able to build up too sizable of an advantage. And the thing about it being slow is it's very odd to see G2 play slowly. But if I was a team that was struggling and saying, okay, we'll just see what we can do, we'll see if we can build back up, I would probably play so. Because you're less likely to make these brain mistakes and these finger mistakes that they talked about on the Analyst.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm right there with you, but these guys were screaming Hakuna Matata before coming to the game.
You know how long it took Simba in the jungle? Okay, it took him like 10 years, Ender.
These guys are like the cautious.
He didn't go from a little scared thing that controlled by a meerkat and a bear, and a pig, into the king of the jungle in like a day, Ender. These things take time.
I don't remember any of the plotline of the Lion King. That was too long ago.
Mufasa would be so angry at you right now if he was still alive.
Mufasa's not real, man.
Don't say that.
You know that, right?
I watched the live-action remake. I saw him. He's definitely a real lion.
Okay.
Okay, let's go back into the game, Ender. I've distracted you long enough. Gilius here. Gonna stop Wunder from backing.
Odoamne has Ignite.
Odoamne also has Ignite.
He doesn't have time to get out.
Oh, he does not. First blood to Schalke, and once again, it's Gilius at the center of the action.
I don't know if it was Gilius at the end of the eye. Like, Odoamne did all the work there. Gilius was certainly there for the ride, though. Helps get that kill underneath the tower. Now Abbedagge going way deep. Gonna find Caps here with Dreams.
And the hook comes down. Cap's trying to get away, but that's the second kill of the game. And now the showstopper coming out from Jankos. Gilius is on the way. G2, what are you doing? Okay, great stuff from Schalke. Great stuff. You pick up 3 kills. Latest first blood of the split, by the way, by 15 seconds. Cool. But G2 just went in one after one there. And that was some brain fakes.
G2 need to figure their shit out.
Yeah.
Because quite frankly, this is not the caliber of play we expect from them. Multiple mistakes throughout the game. Jankos wasting so much time early on. Caps there, gets caught out, sure, but then Jankos also flying in there with the ultimate. It is, it's too much, and Schalke are...
I mean, they're taking everything the G2 give them, right? And Gilius has been in some good positions. He's 2-0-0 on this Kha'Zix. We set up before, we were saying Gilius is the key guy to watch for Schalke, because if he can get ahead, if he's on something he's comfortable with, he can really make the game snowball for them. Now, it's not out of hand for G2 yet. They're only 700 gold behind, but this is a very worrying trend.
They're playing like they're in D2. Schalke, I mean, I also just favor Schalke's comp.
Yep.
You know, like, I love it. I actually think Kha'Zix does play into this very, very nicely. I believe it was SK that ran a similar composition to this.
Yeah,
Fnatic were also playing a Kha'Zix game that ended well for them after the...
No, so SK ran it with the Twitch.
Yeah.
Yumi, Kha'Zix.
But it's a very similar idea, you know? Yeah. I think the next evolve for Gilius should be the Spike Racks. Provide some more utility for his team, because it just gives you different ways to team fight. You don't have to just dive into the back line. You can also provide some CC. Now that the Herald is going down mid, this should be the tower, but Odoamne is here. No ultimate yet for about 10 seconds, and that's going to mean they can't force the fight.
Tower doesn't go down.
But I don't think G2 knew that. G2 obviously probably expecting the Ornn ultimate going to be up there, so they don't overcommit there, and the tower will stay alive for now.
That's one of those times it's just so hard to keep perfect track of, right? Like, it changes, obviously, as you get extra cooldown reduction. Just like, I think it's up around now instead of knowing the exact timer. Jankos here, being taken out of his own jungle. And here goes Odoamne, and there goes Jankos. Showstopper trying to bring Gilius back into the fight. The shockwave isn't going to do too much, and a double knock him into the shuffle. Goodbye, G2! Might not even make playoffs. They are losing to the worst team in our league, and Schalke are making them look like children.
And it's not even close. Is the other, like, G2 have not won a single fight. They didn't have a single successful gank in the early game. They got a Rift Herald and they got a Dragon. Apart from that, Schalke have had their number. Gilius sits with a 2-level lead over Jankos in the jungle, kills him inside there, picking him off, and Abbedagge once again shows up with the ultimate to shut him down.
The only benefit for G2 is that early Ocean Drake. Taking it away means that Schalke are that much further away from a soul.
So, Kha'Zix just stole red buff. Jankos is level 8 walking into the fog of war. You cannot do that. And yes, he picks up Gilius, but it doesn't mean anything. The Orianna ultimate gets jumped out of, and then Abbedagge comes, slides both people in here. Mikyx's trying to save Caps. He saves him from some damage, but not the kill. And Neon's flash maybe a little too much there, but Schalke just slamming G2 consistently.
And here comes the TP into the mid lane as Schalke look for their Cloud Drake. Is Cloud sold this game? We'll talk a little bit about the impact of that after we see make sure that Schalke get it. Of course, Cloud Soul, very good on things like Kha'Zix, and the extra movement speed as you pop your ult, your ability to reposition around fights, extra cooldown reduction for Odoamne if they get those 3 Cloud Drakes is great for his ultimate as well, and you can see he's sitting at level 12, almost up to those ornaments. Abbedagge already level 13. Gilius, he's got a full 3 levels, or two levels and a third over Jankos. Jankos is lower level than Dreams.
He's the same level as Wunder. I mean, the thing is, in professional play, junglers get outpaced by AD carries very early into the game. But he's keeping up. 127 CS, and now Jankos making a play on Odo.
Odoamne's going to try and flash away, but that's the showstopper. This is good play from G2, but the TP's coming into the call of Froskurinn. He misses it! Rooted in place, Jankos able to get the kill, and here goes Neon looking for Jankos. One more auto is enough. Wunder trying to trade in here, has that W, has that tether on. Almost down, dodges the true shot. Wunder gets him in the end. 2-for-2 trade in the bottom lane.
All right, so G2 finally gets something done on the map. It is still a 2-for-2 trade there, but from a deficit, you'll take that. Gilius also the recipient of so much power, now getting a solo wave in the bot lane too. Already has the Duskblade finished. and there's no armor yet coming through for G2. They have to worry about Abbedagge, of course, on this Azir, but Kha'Zix has free lane on the backline. We're a long way away from any sort of Zonias for a Caps, and he doesn't even want to itemize into that. That would slow him down a lot. We've got another fight in our hands.
Mikyx steps forward here. The hook didn't connect, and Mikyx going to flash across the wall as Odoamne goes forward. Perkz with the crescendo, with the Calibrum, gets hooked! He's just too far forward, now he's going to put some damage.
Abbedagge!
Crucified from Abbedagge! He has had a dire split, but in this game he's showing up, and Caps is not. He whiffs the shockwave wide enough to cut the grass in the jungle as Schalke once again find 3 kills.
Dreams landing every hook on a critical member of G2. First Perkz, then Caps, both will fall in the fight. And that's G2 seeking out action, seeking out some sort of fight inside the enemy jungle, and they get beaten down hard.
Schalke, every player really stepping up this game. Gilius especially 5-0-1, but credit to Abbedagge. 4-0-2 on this Azir. Credit to Dreams. I remember watching his Nautilus play, and he couldn't hit a hook for love nor money. This game, 007. License for his teammates to find kills as he assists them. That was a stretch.
I was so bought in. You're delivering it so passionately, so confidently.
License for his teammates to find kills.
Look,
forget
the pomp and circumstance. Dreams has played a phenomenal game here today up against G2, and Schalke are setting up another trap around the mid lane. Minion wave will make it hard to land some sort of a pick here, but the Ornn's gonna shut him down.
The Forge God onto Mickey, he gets the gobble onto Perkz, but the chase is on, and Gilius is dominating. This Kha'Zix cannot be splattered like a regular bug. Instead, he is the one finding the kills. 0-2 Perkz, 0-2 Mickey, 0-3 Caps, 1-3 Jankos, 1-2 Wunder. There's a Baron on the cards, and Schalke have no hesitation in starting the fight.
They're going to start this one immediately. Abbedagge and Dreams both have ultimates, so they can still turn out of the pit. G2 must step forward into them. The hook just barely misses onto Caps, but the Baron's already down to 3k.
Caps has his shockwave. Schalke going to disengage right now as they look for a little bit more of the fight. Dreams keeping that Baron engaged, and here we go. They're trying to dive onto the jungler. Jankos caught out, shuffled back, he's done. Abbedagge now unstoppable. The shutdown does come out though, as Caps is able to find one in response. Dreams is dead as well. And maybe Mickey and Caps can do something special here. Perkz is on his way. Odoamne is going to go in. Doesn't hit the bop. And now Mickey's going to join the fray. Odoamne is going to get chased out. Neon trying to put some damage in from the side, but Perkz is going to catch him. Odoamne licked up and taken down. The True Shot Barrage misses Neon. Is able just to get away back towards his base, but Caps is still on the chase. The flash away from Neon will save him for now. And G2 found 3 kills there on Caps out of the fight.
That's a big deal too. Baron not going down either. Let's watch this fight again, because Dreams, everyone over the wall, they're trying to pick up Jankos there and knock him down so they can secure the Baron. At the same time, Gilius is fighting Wunder on the bottom side, and I do believe he gets the kill on him. So at the start, it looks okay. 2 kills for 1, but Abbedagge did fall down, and then Caps hiding in the fog of war didn't quite have vision. The blue trinket goes down a little bit late. They weren't aware he was inside of there, and then good kiting there, doesn't get knocked up. Then, of course, Mickey able to reposition over the wall, and Neon unable to put down damage. By Mickey positioning underneath Caps, Neon cannot approach the fight. He's hopelessly throwing Qs over the wall, but even if he connects them, it's going to be on a catfish, and that let Perkz run up here and get yet another summoner out of Schalke.
Neon quite lucky that Perkz didn't have the Calibrum as well, because otherwise that range advantage would have been too much now. Schalke are going to get their 3rd dragon of the game. 2nd cloud for them. 7-0-1 is Gilius, the guy we've had our eyes on for the entire game. Iceborne Gauntlet complete on Neon. Leandries, Nash's done on Abbedagge. Let's have a look at the other side of the board though, because Caps has got himself a book. He's got the Death Note, he's got a Medjai's. That's a little bit of confidence when you pick up 3 kills.
Honestly, I think Medjai's from a deficit is often a good play. Because from this position, we think they're going to get out of skill. Hold out, we got to fight in the mid.
Perkz being caught out, and Perkz is done before the fight can even really start. The True Shot Barrage coming out as well as Odoamne is taking up the tower. Dreams underneath it with the gargoyles. That turret is done. 2 kills are done. Schalke able to lose. Well, they lose 1 in response as Caps goes on a rampage. 10 stacks on his Medjai's now.
And that's the point of the Medjai's. From behind, if you can get killed, if you can win 1 fight, you can negate so much of a gold advantage. By getting that I mean, the book costs you so little gold. Leave 1050 to upgrade from the Dark Seal. It is incredibly cheap, and if Caps can play well in these fights, if his team can make a comeback, it can swing the game a little bit faster than you would expect. The flip side, however, is if you do fail in a fight, you throw that all away.
See this fight once again. Perkz he thinks he's safe under the turret, but he can't survive through the Call of the Forge God. Never mind any more of the damage.
Perkz has been absolutely murdered multiple times so far in this game, and luckily for Caps, he's able to trade back at least one kill right there, but Perkz really struggling in this one. Nautilus has caused him a whole lot of problems, and now that we're in the team fights, the Ornn's going to be a problem as well.
Up next, Misfits versus Rogue. Misfits still on their road to playoffs. Rogue, of course, looking to continue their 4-game winning streak. But I want to come back to this game, and I want to just make a statement about Caps and a statement about teams when they are struggling. What you need sometimes is one guy just to have the performance of his life. What you need sometimes when you are struggling as a team is one guy just to step up and say, hey, my back's large enough to carry this game, right? And Caps in the last 2 fights has started to show up once again. Now he's 4-0-3, only guy on his team with more than 1 kill. He was 0-3-0. And in these sort of desperate moments when you're fighting the playoffs, when you're fighting against the bottom team of the league and losing, Caps is the sort of guy you need to step up to the plate and take the shot.
And the spotlight is on him, both for G2 and for Schalke. Gilius 7 kills. He's going to be looking to hunt Caps in these fights. If you can remove the threat of that shockwave, G2's fight will collapse. That is so much of their damage. It has to be a multi-man shockwave to win, but here goes Odoamne.
Call of the Forge.
They've got him.
They're looking for Caps to land the hook. Caps pops the stopwatch, actually gets...
Oh, Mikyx got him out!
Caps is still alive, and here comes the showstopper getting Gilius up towards the backside. They shut down from Caps, and now it's a 4v5. Mikyx still alive as well, pops the thick skin. He will pop his stopwatch as well. He's gonna fall. Abbedagge will take him. Odoamne dodging to the side of Perkz. He steps forward right into the lion's mouth. Wunder next on the menu, and Schalke can't quite find it. True Shot Barrage goes wide, but Caps survives. They kill Gilius, and then Perkz just oversteps.
It's just a back and forth of G2 doing things good and G2 doing things bad because Mikyx saved Caps' life. He was the hero that G2 needed, and then Perkz tries to return the favor, but it is not the same. Perkz goes down, and now Schalke are waiting for Gilius to respawn. They can't immediately move on to that Baron buff because he's not back, but I'm just dumbstruck off of this play because looking at it, G2 get away with murder right here. Odoamne repositions the ultimate. Caps didn't expect it. Dreams lands another hook onto Caps.
Oh my God, that was so
and
good.
Mikyx picks him up. Mikyx saves him. That's everything they needed, and Caps is able to ruin Gilius on the backside, so that stacks onto the Mejai's. And then why does Perkz go this direction? Like, the terrain prevents you from doing this. You're gonna get jumped on, and yes, Odoamne flashes over the wall, but Perkz is not strong enough to take a fight against Abbedagge. He also gets exhausted on top of that, and they get shut down.
It feels like a play you make when you consistently win. Because usually you're in the spot where you can flash forward and get that kill, and then you can run out the other side.
And I've got it. I mean, I don't think he expected the exhaust. I think that had to have been Odoamne switching over to that on the Unsealed Spellbook. So,
that's true.
Looking at it closer, it's a little bit harder to blame Perkz there, but I still think it was too much to look for the 1v1 against a 7-1 and 4 Azir. That is certainly a lot. But Odoamne, the hero of that fight, especially if that is his exhaust, he started that one, he found Caps.
But it has to be his exhaust. There's no other way to get an exhaust on that team. So
It's an
Odoamne,
Ignite now.
Yeah, he's stuck with Schalke through thick and thin and made a play that might win them this game. Dragon up 13 seconds. Cloud Soul on the menu for Schalke. 5,000 gold lead for them. Play to the Ruin King. Iceborne Gauntlet upgraded to the Frozen Fist. The Manamune fully stacked up here for Neon. Abbedagge has the Rabadon. Has the shuffle back as Jankos jumps towards him, and that is a big ultimate burn. Odoamne's now finished himself a Locket. Third item on the Ornn, we tend to see it. You can upgrade it, Jankos.
Dreams again!
A little bit here, the showstopper gonna go back and stops Odoamne from getting the knockback on that Call of the Forge God. Gilius almost down, but Jankos is the first jungler to fall. Dreams gonna take a bit of damage as Perkz puts a few hula hoops around him. Neon chased out as well. He's gonna flash the wall. The Dragon down to 5,000 HP.
Caps is level 16. Look for Caps' shockwave.
You gotta watch the shockwave. You gotta look to see where the ball is.
That's
the
two.
Lands on 2. Abbedagge's gonna go down, but he manages.
He's alive.
Shields. Abbedagge's still alive. Only Caps now survives for G2. and Neon is looking to chase him down. Caps will escape, but the Dragon goes to Schalke. The Soul goes to Schalke. And in a game that no one expected them to win, when they were down and out, when they were destitute 1-10, Schalke are looking to beat our champions, our reigning champions.
How in the world does Abbedagge live for so long? That is just insane. Caps makes it out. He survives with his Magi stacks, but his team is not so lucky. And Schalke, they are just putting the pieces of the puzzle together. Cloud Soul was the first, Baron will be the next, and Elder Dragon will be the last.
It all comes down to this, Ender. I don't think anyone really expected Schalke to win this one. Me, for darn sure, I thought this was G2's redemption. G2 coming back, fighting for playoffs. If they lose this, they're tied with
It's such an interesting fight, too, because you have Dreams and Neon on the side. A massive knockup offered up there from Odoamne, just zoning the back line away because they have the damage. They isolate Jankos. It's all about isolating for the Kha'Zix and the Azir to batter away at them. Now they have the free Dragon. Then G2 decide to contest. Odoamne a little bit off on that skill shot there, but then how? How is Abbedagge allowed to live here? He gets the shield walking forward.
No one's attacking him.
I mean, Caps doesn't have the spell. Wunder's spell is probably on cooldown. He's getting ruined by the Sand Soldier. Sitting inside of 3 of them, gets destroyed. And I mean, the one silver lining for G2 is that Caps does live. That is 22 stacks on Mejai's. That is a Rabadon's death cap. But even a fully stacked Mejai's and Rabadon's on top cannot match the raw DPS that Abbedagge is able to offer up, especially now that he should have gotten the upgrade from Odoamne on his Rabadons.
7,500 damage on Abbedagge in that one fight. Rabadon's Death Crown now complete. He's in such a strong position. Perkz going forward with the Inferno. He's
on the side.
Dreams finds a good hook. Jankos coming in from the side. There's a showstopper, but the Aphelios is down. The Tahm Kench is down. You can do nothing. You can do nothing. Look, Caps is alive, he's full HP, but it doesn't matter. The rest of your team are dead and buried. And now G2 are looking to push it. Schalke are looking to push in for the win.
Schalke dismantle G2. Only Caps left to hold on to the base here. It will not be over just yet. There are no minions, but Schalke run over the map. They're going to head back for this Baron. That will not be able to be contested at all by G2. And I want to ask the question one more time. Are you worried yet about G2? Because after this game, you should be.
I totally agree with you, right? Like, it is concerning to say the least. It is probably one of the biggest falls from grace we have seen in a champion in the last few years.
Look at this fight. I forget G2. G2 don't matter. Dreams is a goddamn hero. Landing that Q on Perkz again. Perkz does not get to play League of Legends against Dreams' Nautilus. Gilius also on the flank. It is just a thing of beauty for Schalke in this one right here. And I want to do the math. It is a combined 2 and 23 for G2 if you remove Caps from the equation, and that is frankly unexcusable.
Well, we'll see if Twitch chat agrees with you, Ender. It's inexcusable, as you say, and yes, this was 65% earlier, it's now 83%, and I honestly am surprised it is not ticking at 99 to 100%, because after this game, after this sort of performance, you should be worried for G2. You should be worried, not that they won't make playoffs, but that they won't be the G2 that made it to Worlds Finals last year, that they're not the G2 that are MSI champions. Although they still reign, we will see them now look for a fight in the mid lane, and Odoamne is really not taking too much damage. The showstopper coming out, Caps is trying to do what he can. The Call of the Forge God gonna knock up Jankos. Gilius jumps in, Gilius jumps out, Jankos still alive. Dreams here with the rest of Schalke as they push in with this Baron. The Sun Disc goes down, and Schalke are just knocking on the door of these inhibitor towers. Jankos almost taken out by the Azir. Caps coming in from the top side, the tower still stands.
The question I want to know is, can you get a little excited for Schalke? They've only got 1 win on the scoreboard, but whose playoff hopes can they ruin this split? God Gilius comes into the roster, he tears the Jankos apart in the early game. Dreams, an absolute monster on the Nautilus. Abbedagge, Odoamne, this entire team is showing up in this match. They have 1 inhibitor, the second one is soon to fall. And Schalke are just 1 fight away from taking their second win of the split.
Say Hakuna Matata all you want, G2. This one's gonna sting. Schalke 26 kills to 9, up 64,000 gold to 54,000 gold, up a Cloud Soul, up a Baron buff, up. And they are looking just the far superior team so far today. Perkz steps forward. This is the second inhibitor tower about to fall as Schalke goes in, and Perkz almost melted before he could even go forward. The True Shot Barrage doesn't quite clip him. But at the moment, Schalke don't care about the kills. They look for these inhibitor towers. Dreams going forward, depth charge coming out. The shockwave doesn't connect as Dreams is just able to escape from it. Perkz down to half HP. He was just back at the fountain. He just healed up and he's got to do it again. The Abyssal Voyage going in. Jankos trying to get onto Abbedagge. He's rooted him in place, but the Haymaker isn't going to be enough damage. Gilius taking down the inhibitor in the bottom lane. His Neon kills off Mikyx, and now it's a 4v5. Schalke, a few ticking health bars means they'll probably try and reset, but Abbedagge still has the TP to get back into this fight, and Schalke aren't stopping. Schalke are relenting. They are looking to do to G2 what G2 have done to so many teams before. They are looking to devastate them. As the Baron buff runs out, though, they will back away. They will reset.
Step 1 was the fight win, was the Cloud Soul. Step 2 was the Baron. Check and check. Step 3 is this Elder Dragon, and that is going to be checkmate for G2 with nothing left in their base to defend. 2 towers and a Nexus. Schalke will be uncontested on this objective. They have 6 super minions approaching the enemy base. They'll reset one more time before looking to end this game.
And as we said, there have been so many good performers on Schalke. We've highlighted Gilius, we've highlighted Dreams, we've highlighted Abbedagge, Odoamne, his positioning, his Call of the Forge Gods, Neon, kind of just a silent assassin this game, right? Like, I know there are other assassins in the game, but you look at it, he's done the second most damage on his team. He's done more than the Aphelios. He's done more than the Orianna. He is constantly putting out the DPS, even though he has not been the star this game for Schalke.
He's the side piece in fights. He's not always in the front of it, but he is battering you down from the side, zoning you away. And say what you will about G2, but Schalke's players have not played like they are on a 1-10 team. They are stepping up. They are looking absolutely phenomenal in this match, and they are gonna do it one more time. Gilius on Jankos.
Another hook from Dreams after Gilius jumps in. The True Shot Barrage gonna hit onto one. Perkz being caught up as well. Mikyx still alive, can just gobble up his AD carry if he needs. Dreams with the Gargoyles was pretty tanky there. The Nexus Tower's the target for Schalke. Only the second time this split. Dreams once again with the hook. And Schalke have done it. They found their second win against the other finalist from Spring Split, the Shuffle In. They want it all. Give them all 5, give them the ace, and give them the second wing of summer.
They know what they did. They're smiling, they're feeling good. They just shut down Beat 2, improved their record, and looked so damn good while doing it, Medic.
Honestly, I think a few people in the audience are still going to be a bit shell-shocked from that one. That was such a one-sided performance from Schalke. G2, after a couple of plays, after a little bit of slow play early on, just got wiped away. And every player on Schalke played so much better than we have seen them do the rest of the split. You can vote for one of those players of the game at LEC on Twitter. Gilius, Abbedagge, Dreams are your options. There's so many good choices. Give it to anyone. Give it to Dreams. Give it to anyone. We've seen some huge upsets today, and in a few minutes, Misfits are looking to take down our first place team. Oh, he got it again.
Blazing.
Almost Dredge Line doesn't quite connect. The corner of the Forge God will hit onto Febiven, but here comes the Crow, and Kaiser will gobble up Kha'Zix, spinning him out. But already he's down. There's another as Kha'Zix falls, Razzle feared away. And this Fiddlesticks takes the triple.
I do believe that Rogue is a textbook team. You always expect what they're going to do. I think that their style is going to get a little bit outdated soon.
Going in as well with the Destiny. Pops the stopwatch a little bit late. Vander's going to fall first, but here goes Larson trying to get onto Cries. Special off towards the bottom side is being chased out by Finn. The showstopper used on Torre, and here comes Summer. He opens up in the Infernum. The Graviton finds the root, and Patrick is forced away.
I think right now we are kind of finding our footing, figured out how we want to play. We need to keep grinding and keep improving. Textbook team or not, I think we're just a team that plays well. I don't think there's any other thing to it.
And you know I'm steady blazing.
But my heart goes That's my heart goes. Where my heart goes. That's my heart goes.
Charged up. Hello, everybody. Let the game begin.
And welcome back to the LEC everyone. Schalke 04 just won their second game, and Neon is joining me to talk about this victory. Congrats! I mean, I don't even know what to say. That was a really cool game from you guys. You didn't look like a 10th place team at all. Do you agree?
We kind of didn't this game, did we?
I mean, to what do you attribute this to? I mean, we know that G2 has been underperforming a bit, but still, you've been playing really well. So tell me about the game and how you managed to grab a lead so early, because 15-minute mark, you were 2 to 3k gold ahead of them.
I mean, thing is, we're not that bad of a team, even though our standings indicate otherwise, right? But ever since I joined the LEC team, we have had actually a positive scrim win rate, you know, and it's just been kind of saddening till now that we have been losing most of our games. But I'm glad that we could have, like, games where we can actually showcase that we can actually compete with the top teams, right?
Yeah.
So I'm happy for that, and like this game, along with the Fnatic game, hopefully showcase that. So there's that.
Yeah, you say top teams. When we look at the standings right now, G2 and Fnatic are not exactly top teams. So no, but that's interesting actually. I want to know, does it mean the same thing for you beating this team in the state they are right now?
I guess not, right? But in the history, those two teams have been like proven to win EU over and over. So for me, it kind of means that, even though they're not the best right now.
I see.
I guess.
I see. And I mean, you were telling about the fact that you've been playing well lately, which I agree with. And I'm wondering, do you think teams have been underestimating you guys on the Rift? On stage, actually.
Very well, it's possible. Although I don't really feel like it, but it might have just been the case, right? But I feel like when the time is right and everything clicks, we are actually a team that can compete with most of the teams and has a chance to win. So
I agree with you. I mean, looking at games like that, it must give you hopes for the remainder of the split. So how do you see things evolving for Schalke for the remaining weeks we have?
Well, it will still remain a victory, right? Like for now, the goal is just to look at like every single match and be like, okay, we just focus on this match, and everything else is like beyond that. So we just want to take it one match at a time, if you can. Yeah,
it's the best thing to do, I guess. Here now, a bit of praise for your teammates. The community chose Abbedagge to be the player of the game here. So what about his performance this game? Do you think it was extra special and he deserved player of the game?
Yeah, totally. I think he actually carried the game really hard. And I'm kind of sad that like people have been sleeping on him this split. Like he's actually one of the better mids in EU. So I would just kind of want to give him a shout out, you know?
Well, shout out to him and shout out to all of you guys. Congratulations again on taking down G2 today. Thank you, Neon, for the interview. And we're going to take a break now, and we'll come back in a few minutes with first place Rogue facing off against Misfits. See you soon.